Yeah, high-pitched wailing sounds that sound important. Hello there. Welcome back to Arrakis, aka the biggest litterbox in the known universe. So, once again, I found myself trapped on a plane for 10 hours. So, since last time I was stuck on a plane for that long, I watched the first Dune movie. I thought, let's keep this streak rolling. So, popped in Dune 2 and tried not to fall asleep. I almost fell asleep, but not quite. So, Dune 1, I'll be blunt, I was kind of bored. It's a very pretty movie, it's a very expensive movie, it's a well-made movie. You can taste the money just flowing off the screen alongside all the dust in your mouth. Storyline, though, is slow and has all the issues you get with your usual book-to-film adaptation, where you have to compensate for so much you have to leave on the page, and not having the ability to do inner monologues and compression of storylines and all the usual stuff you have happen when you can adapt a horribly long book into a very long movie. 2, in fact. So, we're back for part 2. Part 1 showed basically all the setup of Paul coming to Roxas, Planet Roxas from Kingdom Hearts. There's your crossover. Coming to Araxis, and the Harkonnens royally fucking up his family and killing everybody, and him and his mama fleeing off into the desert to stay with the Freemen and become desert nomads. And hey, you know, Paul, Mama thinks that it might be a good idea to become a cult leader and can convince these desert people to that you're their messiah. Part 2 says, let's see how that turns out. The results may vary. So, Paul's been hanging out with the Freemen for a while. He's learning their ways. He's making the goo eyes at Zendaya Chuni? Is that her name in this movie? I forget. Zendaya. Mary Jane Watson from Spider-Man 4. Making goo eyes at her. She's kind of flirting back. Paul's mama is going, I'm going to become queen of these desert priestesses, and I'm going to drink this blue worm goo that will cause me to experience all the memories of every other high priestess lady of this sect. I'm sure that won't have consequences. It does. And then she's like, hey Paul, remember that plan I had about making you into a messiah? Let's keep doing that, because hey, you can use that to get revenge! Revenge! And Paul's like, I don't want to get revenge. But her mom is like, revenge! In stereo, because she's possessed by like 1,000 old ladies. And Paul's eventually like, fine, I guess. Oh hey, my friend who I thought was dead has been out raiding the desert too. I'm going to listen to him way more suddenly than all these other people I've been living with for a while now who've kept me safe and alive, and my girlfriend. I'm going to fixate more on him than her. That's going to go well. Like, oh, I found some desert nukes. Yay! And her Conans are like, well, we've sent Dave Bautista out there to try and kill you. That failed. He continues to fail the entire movie. He is surprisingly useless in this film. He's just big and albino and doesn't do jack shit. So they call in another albino Harkonnen dude, Elvis. I don't remember his name in this movie, but it's the guy who played Elvis in the biopic recently. He's like, oh, but now I'm bald and evil and a murder sexual like that clown dude from Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, he's there and he wants to kill everybody and just have a hell of an albino boner the whole time. Now, I'm describing this movie. It sounds more interesting than it is, but all the stuff is drawn out so slowly that you can feel every grain of sand easing into your skin and your seat. Why is my seat full of sand? Oh, I'm sitting in a Litterbox, that's why. The movie takes its sweet-ass time, and it's a 3-hour movie again, And there's so much stuff that's pushing in here, and it still feels like it's strong. It's padding and drilling full time. It's kind of a sit. I was doing my best not to merge with the seat with the chair, because at that point, if I became one with the airplane chair, I would have someone else sit on me in the next flight, and I would miss my connection. I'll enjoy turning into a chair. It's usually fun, but not when I have a connecting flight to catch. Anywho, back to the movie. Paul gets the great idea of, instead of just guerrilla tactics and blowing up spice ships for years and slowly getting these guys to believe I'm their messiah via doing great military acts and riding the sandworm, which is kind of a cool scene actually, and doing what my mama told me and drinking the blue worm cum juice that makes me see everything and have prophetic visions and see the future somewhat. Alongside all of that stuff, let's kidnap the Emperor Christopher Walken, who is here and is shockingly toned down, which is good or bad depending on your mileage with how much Christopher Walken you like in your movie. Because when he's toned down, he seems like he's being serious, but the man has become such a caricature of himself that when you see him, you're expecting the goofy, Christopher Walken, and not the Christopher Walken that we do get here. So it's a little, not exactly distracting, but maybe undersold, it feels nearly. He does a good job. It's just I was expecting something more extreme because it's Walken. So that's probably a me problem, but mileage will vary. So Paul baits the Emperor coming down to Araxis, catches him, kidnaps him, and for the political shenanigans, Paul decides, hey, Florence Poe, you're here. You're apparently Christopher Walken's daughter. Right. So you're here. You're gonna be my wife. That way I have a hold on the Empire. Chani, Zadea. I should have discussed this with you earlier, because you probably, if I had discussed this with you, have taken this way better, and you look like you're going to murder me with psychic powers later, and you're walking off in the desert. Bye-bye. Nope, see you in Dune 3. I know where that plot goes now, because I looked it up later. This is going to suck for you. Anywho, so Paul has to do combat thing to, I guess, claim his right to kidnap the Emperor or something. It's stupid. We gotta get the Elvis albino to come in here for them to have a fight. That's fine. I think Elvis albino was played by Sting in the David Lynch version of this. So again, this movie is making me want to watch the Lynch version, because while this is well made and expensive and all those pretty things and pretty actors and yada yada yada, it feels bland. It's a lot of brown. The only time this movie actually kind of livened up was when they had this weird gladiatorial death fight with Elvis albino and some captured folks in a gladiatorial arena, and visually it's almost all bleached white from their killer double suns, and they're all albinos. And as in the background of this fight, there's some dudes just dressed head to toe in black with giant moon crescent head hats and blades for arms, and I'm like, did Clive Barker sneak on set and just let some of his pets out? The hell? This is cool. They don't do anything, but they look great. It's like, oh, this became Mortal Kombat all of a sudden. Neat. I hope that next Mortal Kombat movie is better than the last one. The last one was okay. Anyway, I keep being distracted. I did not enjoy this movie very much. I was kind of bored. Again. So, and once again, this movie does not have a real ending, per se, because the actual climax of where the story is going to go and all the consequences and yada yada yada, the payoffs and final ending things will be in the third part, which is in production now in some degree. So I guess next time I go to England and I'm on a plane again, I will watch the third one on the plane. So see you in 3-ish years, I'd say, somewhere around that zone. That's been about what's been happening so far with that. I'll be bored on the plane, trapped in the air for 10 hours. It's a long movie. It will eat some time. I will probably watch it to finish it off. That said, I did look up how the rest of the Dune stuff goes. third movie will have the payoffs. It's kind of fucked in various ways. A lot of various ways. I'm looking at you, Paul's weird friggin' kids. And sister. And the bullshit that happens with Chani. And everything else in that book. And then there's the later books of Dune. And I'm like... they're not touching those. I want them to touch those. Because one of the books has God Emperor Worm Dude. God Emperor Worm Dude. That's hilarious. I know it was a meme at some point, but that's fucking funny. I want to see $1 billion put into trying to make that not look goddamn ridiculous on screen. I want to see that. So whenever Dune 3 comes out, make $1 billion so if some moron will decide to greenlit making Dune 4 so I can see the Worm God Messiah. I want to see that because it'll be really damn funny. Well, I'm in a Litterbox. I'm gonna go do what I usually will do here. Oh yes, like and subscribe. I've not done any reviews for a while. I was out of town and sick and getting surgeries and anything else that was keeping me from sitting in front of a computer in VR and talking about movies I saw recently. I'm fine, but I've been a bit busy. But so yes, like and subscribe. Watch the rest of my videos. I'm gonna do something for the convention that I went to in England a few weeks ago. Don't know what. It's probably going to be a short video, vlog, with some B-roll I had. We'll see what I do. We'll see what happens. Good night. Poopah, pootah. I'm going to take a shit. Bye.